much. Now, Dr. Adam Szymański.
Thank you. My presentation will be complementary to both presentations. It will be first oriented on the future, on some predictions when it comes to Turkey relations, first of all. But maybe first I would like to say a few words about the elections, since I just came from Ankara on Monday and I looked at election campaign. It will be important also for other remarks I would like to give afterwards. The results of the elections are that, as it was mentioned, AKP has won elections with 20% support. And the second party is Republican People's Party with more than 25%. In the parliament there will be also National Action Party with 13%, right-oriented party, and deputies which were candidates as independent candidates, but they had a support from the Kurdish party. And in comparison to 2007 elections, when they got 20 places, now they have a little bit more, and dates 36. So, generally speaking, when it comes to AKP, this support has increased when it comes to percentage, but when it comes to number of mandates, it will be a little bit less. It's connected with, electoral system and 10% threshold, which is still in Turkey. CHP, Republican People's Party, has increased a little bit, both the percentage of support and mandates, about 5%. And when it comes to MHP, it's almost the same as before in 2007. The reasons for victory, the third victory of AKP after 2002 and 2007 are many. Just to mention the most important ones are, as it was mentioned before, some successes when it comes to economic issues in Turkey, especially, it's, some kind of giving services to people on the ground, not to, actually the policy of AKP was to combine modernization in terms of economy with some conservatism in terms of politics, which is supported by the Turkish society, as the election results showed clearly. So some successes, the charisma of the leader, Tayyip Erdogan. But what is also important is a good election campaign and marketing campaign, which was quite effective, I think. A lot of money was spent for this. It was seen on the streets, but there were some results, and the main message to people was, look, see what was in 2001, 2002, and what is now when it comes to different issues. And I have here some leaflets also showing this. On the left side is always what was before in numbers, so hard numbers given, and on the right side, what is now. And when it comes to different issues, I mean the number of schools, the number of roads, etc. And it shows here, economic development generally in different areas. But at the same time, I think the success of AKP is at the same time it shows still the weakness of opposition in Turkey. The main opposition party, CHP, has changed after the new leadership of Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu. But still, I think the message given by him during the election campaign is not received a lot of support. They presented themselves more as a social democratic party, as it was not so before under the previous leadership. And at the same time, they presented some kind of projects connected, I don't know, with some family insurance, some new ideas when it comes to military service, etc. Some things, but still, the result shows that it was not. It was too late to, for this evolution of the party, or change of the profile of the party, image of the party, to get some, really effective results during the election campaign. And that's why politicians of this party are disappointed after elections, and there are also some now seeking for some, people, even politicians of this party who were responsible for election campaign and can be found guilty for this kind of result. Okay, just a few words about the election results. What is important to the next part, which is Turkey relations. I think because there's a question if what will happen in the future when it comes to the accession negotiations with Turkey, and I think on the one hand they will still continue, because I think on both sides, when it comes to Turkey and EU itself, EU member states side, there's no interest in stop of these negotiations. It's not possible to find consensus on the EU side to stop it, because apart from such countries as France and Germany, there are also countries who support Turkey. Among others, among these states are important big states like the United Kingdom of Spain, for example. Also Poland supports Turkey. But at the same time, accession negotiations will continue, but at the same time, the pace of negotiations will be slow as it is now. We have such a situation now that actually there is no a lot to be negotiated at the current stage, because 8 of 33 negotiated chapters together, there are 35 negotiating chapters, but 2 of them are not negotiated actually. So only 8 from these chapters are frozen because of the decision of European Council in 2006. It's connected with Cyprus issue. I don't have time to elaborate more on this. What's more, France is blocking some of the chapters. Also, Cyprus is blocking some of the chapters. So the situation is now that actually 13 chapters are opened. 1 is provisionally closed, and we have such a situation that only 3 chapters are left to be opened, which is public procurement, competition policy, and social policy and employment. And now, this situation, this slow pace of negotiation can continue. It will be still the same situation, actually, some status quo situation when it comes to negotiations, because when I was in Ankara, I talked with many officials also from the delegation of the European Commission, Turkish officials, but also officials from the European Commission, and they say that, look, these 3 chapters which are now to be opened actually are very difficult chapters. They are chapters which are usually opened at the end. When it comes to competition policy or social policy and employment, they are also difficult chapters when it comes to Turkey, when we look at adjustment to acquis communautaire of the European Union. It was also a big problem in case of Poland when before it joined the European Union. It was a problem, for example, competition policy when it comes to, you mentioned Croatia, because it was one of the last chapters opened recently. So this is one thing. The other thing is, so we had such a situation when it comes to these negotiating chapters, but of course the question is if the reasons for the situation can change. The Cyprus issue was mentioned, and I think here there's not a lot of hope to change something, because talks between both leaders of two communities on the island are continuing, but actually the prospects are not so good when even after the parliamentary elections in Turkey, because there is of course always the possibility of change of the policy, some more flexibility on Turkish side, which can influence the position of Turkish Cypriots, but still I don't think it will be the case even after the elections. The other issue is relations with Armenia, because one of the conditions, political conditions to make progress in negotiations is also good relations, normalization of relations with neighbors. And when it comes to relations between Turkey and Armenia, we have not now such a situation, but there are no official diplomatic relations. In 2009, two protocols were signed before two sides to develop these relations, to start these relations and to develop. But there was no ratification, and I think again after the parliamentary elections versus another situation, of course, but still I don't see some prospects for some change here, because there are many other things which can be taken into consideration. Among them, on the Turkish side, for example, important relations with Azerbaijan, which complicate some change. I mean, the ratification of these protocols. But saying all of this, I think the most important and crucial thing will be to make some progress when it comes to accession negotiations, to give some tool to EU member states who are in favor of a Turkish accession. As we mentioned in the beginning, of the democratization process, continue of this, because I don't agree with such an opinion that only the cultural issues count here. Of course, they are very important. In my opinion, they belong to this unofficial membership criteria, but there are some very important issues, both when it comes to Turkey and Turkey-EU relations. And one of these issues is the continuity of the democratization process in Turkey. And I can show you here a newspaper from the day of elections. You have here, it's about that everything is in hands of Turkish people, and the main issues at the center are the new constitution, which must be adopted by Turkey, and the Kurdish issue. Two issues in the center of this picture, and they are the main challenges, especially the new constitution. The new constitution, which is not the constitution adopted right after the coup d'état, as it is a case in case of the current constitution, many times changed, but still it is this old constitution. So the question is, there are two questions connected with the new constitution. The first one is if the methodology of adoption of new constitution, and the second thing is, of course, the content of this constitution. When it comes to methodology, I mean the method of adopting it, it is extremely important, and discussions in Turkey before elections and after the elections. If it is possible to create some kind of consensus between political parties in Turkey to adopt a new constitution. If it will be a constitution adopted,